morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nano. It is the start of another weekend here with, of course, Saturday and Sunday and our new Monday racing with mandatory payout. We're going to start today, Fast Main Track Firm Turf Course. You got the all-weather Tapeta. Brian, how was your couple of days off?
Fun, Ron, and looking forward to getting back to it. Firm turf course, as you said. Mondays have been so good. We build that rainbow, hopefully up to Monday. They've been getting close to $500,000.
Yeah. It's been
each and every Monday. So
yeah, it's been a success, the Rainbow Six. And so we got all those wagers this afternoon. Of course, the Rainbow Six not mandatory today.
Right.
Also got the Tropical Turf Pick 3, Summer Sweep, Late Pick 5. I mean, the $5 pick, $5 late daily double, my favorite bet. Oh, we'll tell you about all that stuff as the morning goes along here on our replay show at the end. Today, the first race, a mile 70 yards on Tapeta Claimers. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. Scratch the one American Pop Star. Brian's got his early pick 5 ticket today, so we're going to jump right into it.
Take a look at it now. $18 after some scratches. Got hit pretty good today, so we just have to deal with that. 3 deep in the opener, 3 deep in race number 2. I did always have the 1, no filter needed on top. Race number 3, I scratch into the 4. That is Rodhan, who'll be a short number in there. Best bet in race 4 on the turf. It's the 2, Bail Us Out. And in race 5, routing on the Tapeta, I've got the 5. That is Snooty Princess on top, and that's an $18, Ronnie.
Well, I'm glad you got 4s on your tickets
because
I have a lot of 4s today. And not a number that I usually end up with. I don't know how that works out. It's just a numerologist type of stuff, which is sort of witchcraft, I guess, in a way. If you believe in it, it's fine with me. So
I think it works out randomly.
Yeah, it works out. Yeah. Okay. So getting into the first race this afternoon, needless to say, I started it with the 4, but you started it with the 6, and that's Mischievous Scout. You want to show that race?
So Mischievous Scout was behind Melody Factor, and they were both ahead of Del Rosario last time.
Right.
And Melody Factor might have had a little bit of a tougher trip, being that she's kind of inside down on the rail, and that's never like the spot to be when you have 2 horses to your outside. But the reason I put Mischievous Scout on top is because that was her first start against winners, and I thought it was, all things considered, a pretty decent effort for Heather Small. And you break your maiden, and then you've got to rise in class and face a bunch of horses that have also broken their maiden. And it's easier said than done. And a lot of times it can be a little bit of a rude awakening for horses. But the fact that she was beaten just 2 lengths, and she's only got 1.25 lengths to make up on Melody Factor, and you can see her running on a little bit at the end here as well. I'm going to think that maybe she can turn the table. She should be a little bit better price as well. And, of course, that never hurts either.
The number 4, Souffle on Fire, is where I went. And if you look at this horse, been struggling to get that second win, but I like the fact, Brian, they're taking the blinkers off this afternoon. I'm going to show you stat with Safi doing that, taking blinkers off, which is a random stat. You know he was going to be good, 20%, 50% in the money, but he's got a positive return of investment. I thought with the blinkers off, maybe throttles this horse's speed down a little bit, and the horse won't be on the engine and running out of steam at the end.
Yeah, it's quite possible. She's fine. She's no great shakes. You're probably going to have to take, unfortunately, an underlaid price. But, yeah, I can surmise off that race. She was behind Del Rosario last time. It was comfortably behind Melody Factor and Mischievous Scout. So there's a lot of musical chairs kind of going on here in the opener. But you get Safi, and he's making an equipment change, and I think that could be key. Because you're right, Ron. She's been a little keyed up in her last 2 races.
So we'll see if that helps this afternoon. You see, of course, we showed you the race with Melody Factor that we both have in second. And we just got our try flip-flop around. We're on the turf for race number 2. It's a maiden event for 2-year-olds. We did have some scratches in here of the 2, 6, 7 Brew, the number 3, Renegade Joe, and the 6, Awesome Noah. Note the jockey change on the number 1. Make that rider Edgar Perez. And, Brian, you went to the inside horse. No filter needed with Edgar Perez, first-time starter.
First-time starter. Turf is obviously an unknown. They bought this horse in April, paid $23. Son of Speaker's Corner. The July 20 Bullet, 35-4, says this horse can fly a little bit early on. That one was not on XBTV. The drill on June the 14th was, and he was inside a workmate, and it was just an easy 37. He did it very nicely, did it well within himself, and I thought visually it was very impressive, even though on the stopwatch it wasn't. It wasn't like they were asking a lot of this horse. Watched the tote board, of course, with 2 big scratches. We knew the 2 and the 3 were going to take a lot of money, so he is supposed to take a lot of money now, too.
Yeah, no filter needed is a half to Akira, which is a local stakes winner right here. I did go with the horse with the previous experience in number 4, and that's King Cousin B, and we'll show you this horse. A good performance, just barely getting beat.
It was, and this was on the Tapeta, so again, we've got to answer the turf question, and he did kind of get set up. Boyhood Dream is the winner, and he fries Vermont, who was just dreadful. No, Vermont was dreadful on the turf, in the next start. But this is a good effort for King Cousin B, and Bernardo Lopez also trained the 3, Renegade Joe, and again, they scratched this horse. So we gotta just, when he finally does pop in the entry box at $500,000, twirling candy, we'll see, because he scratched him a few different times. This is a good effort by King Cousin B, and anytime a 2-year-old runs on late and can pass horses, I think it's just another feather in the cap. Did everything but win, Ron.
Yeah. What do you think of wins on the grass?
I don't necessarily know if that's the MO, but I've been very adamant that turf sprinting, I'm not all that concerned with pedigree, especially when it's fast and firm out there like it is today. If we were routing, I think that's maybe a little bit of a different story. They're just going to sizzle out there on the turf.
The 8, Tilu. Then this one is a son of Roadster. Now, we know how well Roadsters were doing first time out. We don't really know how well they've done second time out. I didn't see a lot of them winning yet. They're putting blinkers on this horse for Heather Smullen, and we don't know what Roadsters are going to do on the turf. So lots of different changes, but our man Sammy Camacho back today.
Yeah, that's good to see. He's back today. And here's the other thing, too, with this horse. He's the only other horse, aside from King Cousin B, with experience. Now, it wasn't any great shakes. He was 4th in a 6-horse field. He wasn't bet that day, but he chased and tired. Heather's going to put blinkers on and going to reach out and get Sammy. So there could be some significance here. And as Ron and I talk about quite a bit, experience is never a bad thing in these races.
And you see a horse that won that race, American Roadster, a son of Roadster.
Yeah.
So just keep an eye on those horses run after they've made a start or two, and certainly with the surface change. Race 3 this afternoon, 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather surface. That's Tapeta. Maiden claimers for 3-year-olds and upward. Going to scratch the 6, Eminent Power on the outside. We both have the 4. Rodney, you want to show the race, even though Eminent Power scratched out and finished behind this horse anyway?
I actually had Eminent Power on top.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, Rod Hand probably is, probably going to be about 3 to 5 now. And this is a good effort. He was well comfortably ahead of Eminent Power. The Jahaludi barn won 2 on Monday, but not going to come back with this one. Broadhand is so the horse to beat in here. The fact that he did well to draw outside his other McCollum main rivals, All God would probably be the one. He is trying. He's 0 for 5 now, and you would have thought maybe he's had some chances to win. Well, I promise you he has not had a better chance than today at about 1:26 in the p.m. to win, because he did everything but that. Titan's Edge swoops everybody here from the back and wins for fun for D'Angelo. But this race, Rodhand, his last 2 races would probably drop this field pretty comfortably.
Yeah, and with 9 to 5 getting beat that afternoon. Now, the number 3, it's the old kitchen sink angle. They're going to take the blinkers off. Coming back is a gelding for Douglas Nunn. Sammy Camacho is going to jump aboard. They're going to cut it back to a sprint. They're going to debut it on the Tapeta. So, like I said, just throwing the kitchen sink at this horse.
First time gelding, throw that in there as well. And Sammy Camacho, do you want to ride? Yes, I do. So, again, possible significance there. This is a horse that's shown speed on the main track. I don't know where that's going to put him today when you look at Rodham pressing 22 and 3 and 21 and 3 in his last 2 starts. So we'll see. But, oh, God, you just got to hope the mud and the blinkers he didn't like last time, because he didn't beat a horse home and he was beaten about 200 feet. So
You got my man Juan Rizzo. I didn't put this one in third with
wow.
Flying Ash. Yeah, I'm usually jumping aboard. You know, he's what? It's 2-4. He's 5 for 6 in the money at the meet. He only started a lot of horses. Renzo Rojas is his go-to jock, so he's got all the positives here. You know, going to stretch out to the 5.5 again. Ran really okay third. We'll see how this one runs today at the 5.5.
Yeah, I kind of think now the race 2 back sticks out like a sore thumb. He's done nothing remotely close to that in his life. So either it was a total aberration or maybe he regressed a little bit last time because the race 2 back was so good. He'll be a square price. Maybe you can get a piece.
Well, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have both the Tropical Turf Pick 3 and the Rainbow 6 starting anew on Saturday afternoon.
Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Well, I think what My Racehorse does is it gives owners an opportunity to get involved in the game.
Very much enjoy sharing the barn visits and those big wins.
Straight no chaser in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
It allows everybody to come together to own a horse, whether you own a micro fraction or you own 50%. It's the same feeling you get when they win.
I'm Dan Blacker.
I'm Safi Joseph Jr.
I'm Todd Fletcher, a trainer for My Racehorse.
Sees the fray, wins the break.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Brian here. If you're just joining us, main track is fast. The turf course is firm. Of course, we have the all-weather Tapeta. Our 4th race is going to be 1 mile on the turf. It's the starter optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up. We're going to scratch the outside horse, Spy Novel. We'll have both the Tropical Turf and the Rainbow. I'll show you my $28.80 Rainbow 6 ticket first. We'll talk about the 4th. 5th race, guess what? I got the 4 on top. I scratched into Imperial Blue. Race number 6, I went too deep. My top pick is the first up, the claim by Bobby DeBona with Misprint, but you got to use the 4, Chloe's Toy. Race number 7, too deep for me. Scratched into the 5, Viking Quest for Lauren Robson. No, always had that one on top. Used Bad Party Girl in 2nd. Race number 8, there's my single. You talked how bad this horse ran on the turf. Going to go back on the dirt with Viking today. And in the last race, my long shot on the outside is the number 2, Basilica Light, but I went 4 deep in there. Crafton D'Souza trying to wake him up with the apprentice in there, and that's 8-1 on the morning line, but I did use the morning line favorite, the 7, Get a Hold of Yourself, who was DQ'd last time out. $28.80 for me. Here's my Tropical Turf Pick 3, and too deep here. Talked about race number 7, just a run back of what I did, just a couple of less horses. Of course, it's a $3 wager, but boy, does it pay nicely.
Race 9 to me was very difficult.
Right.
So I have my long shot in there, kind of a lowercase L, but I agree with maybe trying to spread a little bit in that spot, Ronnie.
Yeah, $48. I added it up wrong this morning. I thought it was 36, but that's why we got sharp guys upstairs. You're adding it up for me.
Yeah,
right?
I can confirm it is in fact $48.
All right, so I know you had the 2, right? I think we both have the 2 bailiffs out on top of our tickets. Going to try the turf after coming off the bench for Bobby DeBona and trying those 62,500 optional claimers. Pretty good race last time out.
Yeah, it was a solid enough effort. It was on the Tapeta. His turf races are too good for this group, and they were against much, much better. I wanted to try to find something to show you. There's nothing to show. He hasn't won in a long time, but he's never been in with a group like this. Second off the layoff. I like what they're doing here. Okay, you want to claim him for 50, that's fine. But this is Bobby. He's good in this kind of game. They're playing some poker here. You want to claim a 5-year-old gelding for 50, you go right ahead. But are you going to improve off Bobby? You're probably not. It's difficult, and it's still a lot of money. It's not like they're giving him away for
Right.
16 or 20. So this horse going to be very, very tough to down today.
Diego Herrera back
Yeah.
with us. He'll be in the saddle. This horse, the last couple of races on the turf for this horse, they tried mile and 5/16, mile and a half. So he's a previous winner at this distance. We both had some interest in the number 1, Lord Eddard Stark, and this one from Joe Orsino. Another one that's going to jump back, and this one likes the local turf course.
He does. The problem is, and look at his turf races, a mile and a half, a mile and 3/8, a mile and a half, 2 miles. He's just going to get warmed up after a mile, and I don't see, he's got no speed at all. And that's just going to be a problem for him, because certainly Bail Us Out is going to be able to get first run on him. At least he got to come back out of the way on Tapeta, but this is going to be so sharp for him.
Well, he's got to win at a mile, but it was
Yeah.
way back in 2024. I want to show you a stat,
Yep.
Bub, with Joe Orsino, horses going from Tapeta to turf, only 10%,
interesting.
147. Just something you want to look at, Bub. Our buddy Lionel Reyes, who can bring home those long
Yes.
shots, will be in the saddle today. What else did you use in here, Brian?
I got the 5. I think Quisler is, he's so frustrating. He's an unknown. He was avoided claim a little bit back 2 starts ago. Ran 5.5 sprinting on the Tapeta. I don't think that's his jam anymore. He is going to run now today as a first-time gelding. We get Pedro Pena, so you get a weight allowance here. Bo Chapman on the reclaim. The fact of the matter is, though, 2 starts in a row now, Quisler has not been very good. I'm not sure he can get back to that March 27th race. That would maybe even win this race. It was the last start for Bo, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, we got our third place, fourth place horses flip-flop. Caller likes the turf. 9 career starts with 2 wins,
Yep.
three seconds, so always in the money. Now, it's only previous race here at Gulfstream Park. Wasn't that good, but has been in good form on the all-weather surface. Going back to the turf today. Sammy Camacho, a win with this horse, 2 starts back, will be back aboard.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. It wasn't that bad either. He broke dead last from an inside draw. He was 7th of 9, but he was only beaten 4 1/4 lengths. Ironsides was really good winning here the other day. So it's a decent race he comes out of, and as Ronnie said, his form has been really good around that race. Jeff Jones going to run too. He's got Golden Town stretching out from the dirt. He's probably going to show a lot of speed in here.
Race 5 this afternoon is 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. It's a claimer for 3-year-old fillies or fillies and mare 4 and up, which have never won 3. Scratch the 2 Game Changer Jolie and also the 3 Mary Marguerite. And Brian, you have your late pick 5 ticket here, so let's take a gander.
Yep, Scratch has kind of whittled this one down as well. Unfortunately, race 6, I've got the 4 on top. Chloe's Toys. She looks for 4 in a row. Race number 7, it's the 5, and that is Viking Quest for Lauren Robson. And the race number 8, how are you going to catch Viking off that dominant win? Wow, in the smile. I talked to Dave Fox. Talked to him this morning on my walk in. He didn't seem to think a mile was going to be much of an issue at all. And then in race 9, I mentioned my long shot. Might be a lowercase L there, but Janana Hahn at 5-1 on the morning line. A Justify trying the turf today, Ronnie.
Yeah, the inside horse there. We'll see how that works. That's a wide open race. That can help everything pay nicely. Getting back to this 5th race this afternoon, Brian, you started it off with the number 5 horse near Sluty Princess.
I think she's your morning line favorite. I think she's the horse to beat. She is dropping quite a bit. State bred allowance runners on the turf last time. The Tapeta race 2 starts back was ugly, so we got to put that behind her. And I know the big Tapeta races, which would drown this field, they were with a different trainer, but Luis Ramirez is pretty sharp. He's going to get Diego Herrera to ride. He rode this horse 2 starts back. And it's on what to me is a pretty big drop. State bred 1Xs to open 10s here. I still think that's a better group. And today I'm hoping, maybe she can't get back to the big races with Ronald Coy, but I think she can get back, especially with 2 huge scratches. She can get back, Ronnie, to a race that's going to be enough here.
Yeah, I just, I lost Game Changer Jolie, and I scratched into Imperial Blue. And if you looked at the Imperial Blue, 4 or 5 starts back on the Tapeta at the 17 level. Who's behind? Right behind Sluty Princess. Yep. I think this is as we always like to say, a Sano type of race. I think the drop, going back to the all-weather surface, this horse has had 8 starts, 2 wins, a second and 2/3 on the all-weather surface, in a good spot. Like the fact that Sammy Camacho is going to jump aboard this afternoon, so that's where I went.
Yeah, she seems like the main danger. If she wouldn't
Right.
shock me if they land on her anyway. But as Ronnie did say very astutely, Saluti Princess beat her by a length and a quarter in the common race, albeit back on April 18th.
Yeah, and then you got Pocket Pair in here for Carlos David. Comes out of a really good race, produced the trio of next out winners in that race and back on June 19th. Looks like this horse has found its proper level, but like a lot of horses in this race, there's not a lot of speed in here. Too. You're going to need somebody to go to the front, maybe like your horse, the 5 or something like that, who showed speed in the past, could just steal this race because everybody that's a competitor looks to want to come from off the pace.
I agree totally. And Pocket Pair, you can see it. She's a typical horse. We talk about this a lot. When you advance to a different condition, whether it's a maiden race or then it's this one for her, it was a 2L. Well, she's now been facing better horses in her last 2, and she has not been able to bridge the gap. So we'll see, because she's out of that restricted ranks today, that 2L, and she hasn't been able to make it down.
Race 6 this afternoon, 5.5 furlongs on Peter Claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. This is going to kick off the summer sweep for Saturday afternoon, and let's see what we got going for us. We'll check out the different races we're using. 2 from Woodbine, they're 6th and 7th races. 4:17 it'll end. Retail only, you know all the good stuff, Brian.
They tweaked this post time a little bit, so just if you were looking earlier in the week or what have you, just take note of that. 2:56 it starts, and as Ronnie said, I love that. Where it ends, it's a tight window. Retail only, and dollar minimum, 15% takeout.
Race 6, as I mentioned, this one here, and you can see it's kicking off in here, Brian. And I know that who'd you go with in here? You went with, we got that video of all these, everybody's back.
Everybody's back. Chloe's Toy beat Any Moment, who beat Misprint, who beat Blonde Jack.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4. Chloe's Toy was winning for the 3rd start in a row. She's done it with 2 different trainers. Today she'll try to do it with the 3rd trainer, as Sebastian Polgarin claims her and claimed her from Danny Hertak. We know how good Danny is off the claim. Well, here's a Polgarin barn now that has just absolutely caught fire. 5 for 16 at the meet, is 3 for 11 off the claim as well, has done little to no wrong, and it's right there in front of you. I know Ronnie's going to talk about Misprint as a reclaim for Dave Fawkes, and that's a big, big deal. Nobody's going to be able to run with Chloe's Toy early, and I don't know. It's an extra half furlong today. I get that, but I don't know why she wouldn't just do it again.
It's so hard to win 4 races in a row when you're talking about this level. So I wanted to do something a little different. Of course, I got Chloe's Toy now, but Misprint, first off the claim, and you could look back before running into a Chloe's Toy was on a mission. Misprint that reeled off consecutive victories itself. So let's show you stat. Now, this is first off the claim on Tapeta. He's 26%. He's 40 or something like that with all surfaces. 58% of the money, and that's a positive ROI. I like the fact that Diego Herrera is going to be in the saddle. Would I leave Chloe's Toy off the ticket and bet this horse to win? No, but I just thought maybe I can upset and get a little bit of a better price.
Well, here's the thing. The 2 races with Dave on May the 31st and April the 23rd, they were so much better than anything Chloe's Toy has ever done before or since. Now she's back with Dave. She's got to turn the tables 2 3/4 lengths. She's got to turn the tables on Any Moment too. Easier said than done, but those 2 races with Dave were really, really big efforts.
Yeah, Any Moment has been right there for Carlos David in both those starts. I mean, Chloe's Toy's just been a little bit better, and those horses there carrying 100. I never read too much into that. It's carrying a couple of pounds more than those guys, but
no. But I'll say this: I'm going to assume they're gonna bet Misprint. Wouldn't even shock me if she's the favorite.
Yeah.
So my point is, Any Moment just beat her last time. She's got a better post, and she's very likely going to be a better price too.
Oh yeah,
so,
that's for sure.
For Carlos David.
Race 7, we're back on the turf this afternoon, and this is going to kick off the late $3 pick 3. It's a 5 on the turf. It's a starter optional claim of fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Did have some scratches in here, making it only a 4-horse field. Amande, who ran seems like 2 hours ago, Ballesta, and the number 4, claimed in here. Brian kicks off. It's really good. 15% takeout, $3 minimum.
The late pick 3. Yeah, we love these new bets. You've got the place pick 8 earlier, the daily double, $5. We'll talk about that in race 8. I had Bob dig up a replay for Amande about a year and a half ago. She actually won on the turf. Well, she's out, unfortunately. So I always had Viking Quest on top.
Yeah, me too.
Lauren Robson.
Yeah.
The turf race in March was good. Where we were at since then, I don't know, but she dipped to Topeka and won last time. I think that's a positive, Ron. She's going to put herself in the race as well, and Lauren doesn't run a lot of horses. They all fire, I promise you that.
Only horse in the whole field that's ever won on the turf.
Before
and after the scratches. So she's the only one that's a proven commodity on there. You went with the 6 and second, and that is Travel Happy for Gary Jackson, who ran okay, beaten 2 lengths by. Talking about Juan Rizzo, Sue Wynn, his horse there.
Yeah, so she comes out of a way better race than the Viking Quest has been running in. Travel Happy beat the 3 Bad Gal Party by just a length. That was Dave Fox. So I think that race is going to be problematic for Viking Quest because it was against a whole much better, and Travel Happy ran well. She did well to draw outside Viking Quest now,
Yeah,
too.
I think I double scrapped into Bad Party Gal, who's going to be David Fox in that race. And David, if David fires on all cylinders, they could win 4 or 5 races. So.
No doubt
and
about that.
including Viking, we're going to talk about. This is the feature race number 8. It's 1 mile. It's an overnight handicap for 3-year-olds and upward. Scratch the 2 Classic, of course, and scratch the number 7 Awesome Train. And let's show Viking's performance. Now, Classic, of course, was in that race, but scratched out today.
What a tour de force. The scratches stink, but they took nothing out of this race in terms of the pace, because those are 2 horses that didn't want to run anywhere close to Viking. Look at the fractions Viking is laying down, and he absolutely fries Beach Colt, who was 25 to 1. I get that. 21 and 4. And then he's going to throw down 44 and 2, and he's going to click it off at 9 and 3 in the Smile. And I promise you, Ron, he was not getting tired. He was just extending and extending for Dave. First start in the barn for the Lieblongs, who lost the big beast. He passed away the other day. Did you see that?
I saw that. Yeah. Good horse.
Yeah, seriously good horse for them, and they campaigned him, and he was a really good stallion here in Florida as well. So that's unfortunate. That's the only race I care about with Viking, because it's the only race for Dave. And I know he has to go 2 more furlongs today.
Right.
What we just showed you there is not a horse that's going to come back to this group today, Rob.
An interesting horse is Rolando, who's going to stretch out from sprint to route. We'll show you stat first of all, and I want to point something out for Fausto Gutierrez. This is what he does when the horses go sprint to route. 16% on the dirt. $1.04 is 34 return investment. If you cruise down Rolando's past performances till you get to the only time this horse tried a mile on the dirt, he won a stake at Colonial Downs by 4 lengths.
Yeah.
I don't know what we get today.
Well, you and I'm going to pat ourselves on the back. We were so right about Rolando last time. What I mean is he ran his eyeballs out in the big drama, and Ronnie and I were very hesitant to come back to him. We thought maybe the B word was going to come in, the bounce, and I think that's what happened. I expect a lot better from Rolando today, but he's got to turn 7 lengths on Viking, and I don't really see Viking slowing down. The one thing about Rolando, he loves this main track, 5 for 10, and as Ronnie said, he has posted a win at the distance. Hopefully, I know Diego Herrera's probably just going to try to keep Viking in his sights early and try to beat him on the far turn.
Well, if he could soften up Viking, I'm talking about Rolando, maybe it sets up for our old buddy, the 7-year-old son of Constitution, Steel Sunshine, who likes to come from off the pace, and his 7-time winning, you're talking about in Gulfstream, and his 6-time winner at the distance.
Yeah.
Maybe lost his fastball, as you like to say.
He has, but he's still got a lot of gameness to him. And Ronnie said it perfectly. If the one can somehow keep Viking honest early, here's Steel Sunshine. He's the one to fear. I don't know what to do with Divin Propos trying to main track for Safi.
Yeah, 5 eyes on Sky Stars. 21, but it's got to go. So that also might, for any chance,
forward.
this has got to be forward. And I don't know if we can run with those horses early, but certainly going to run the first quarter of a mile maybe and set things up for a closer like Steel Sunshine. Race number 9, we're on the grass. And as Brian mentioned and I mentioned, probably definitely the best betting race on the card. 1 mile on the turf. Maiden Claim is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. Let's hear about your long shot first, or you want to show?
We'll talk about my
Yeah.
long shot, then we'll get to yours because you can talk about the video.
Right.
Jananahan, here's a horse that was a maiden special weight dropper. I actually picked this horse last time too. Didn't take any money. I wasn't sure what to make of him. Broke dead last from the rail and never passed the horse. But now at least we've got a tightener out of the way. We're a son, she's a daughter, of a Triple Crown winner, Justify, who's got so much turf in his pedigree. She's going to get an extra turn today, 2 more furlongs in the biggest drop in all of racing. It's a total stab, Ron.
Well, as I mentioned, I did go with Basilica Light, but let's show that performance with Basilica Light and get a hold of yourself who was disqualified in that race.
Who was disqualified, who was really good, but I don't have a problem with the DQ at all.
Right.
But she ran a winning race, and it's going to be difficult for these gals to beat her. Basilica Light was 5 1/4 lengths behind her. How about Joe Catnice? Great to see Joe win on back-to-back days, and he's done it with turf horses. Joe's got the 3. This is Crafton D'Souza. Pardon me. But beaten just 5 1/4 lengths. Not a bad effort, but you got to hope, Ronnie, and you might be onto something. You got to hope nobody runs with her early, right? That's what you're going for.
Yeah. But I mean, the rail is at 66 feet all weekend long. We haven't been out this far yet, so it's virgin territory being out that far. Pedro Pena seems to win the last race every day. Of course, he doesn't, but he's on speed. He's been great on speed horse. So I'm trying to speed pop the field in the finale, especially with the rail at 66 feet.
I don't have a problem with it. But I thought maybe you got to Saranya and even get a hold of yourself. I don't know if they're going to let her go, Ron. I think that's in Motown Soul, too. I thought the pace in this race was a little heated. That's why I kind of jumped the gun. Catnice has got the 3 Decisive Mara, who wasn't that far behind in that replay we just showed you. She's going to run on late.
Yeah, she's going to run on late. Almost made her a long shot, but I went with the speed, but having a lot of success. And we'll see how this turf course plays out this afternoon. It certainly looks the part. That is for sure. So that is anything else before we go to
you just quickly, you mentioned the turf. There was a lot of rain here this week, so credit to Tony and the crew. But my point is, it is firm. I think it still probably will have a little give to it.
Yeah, a little give to it and everything. It certainly looks nice and green. I like that part about it. So I haven't been out there with my measurer yet this afternoon, but you're going out today.
Is that what they call it, measurer?
Yeah, I forgot what it's called. Measurer will do for now. Pick 5 approaching $20,000. And Brian, we got a lightning round. It's always good on the first day back. We get to see what's going on with the jocks and the trainers.
And as we talked last week, we told everybody the standings would be, at least in the terms of the jocks, would be exactly the same because Camacho and Herrera were not here last week, so they are both atop at 71 apiece. Miguel, as we kind of figured he would, and credit to him, a former leading jockey, bridged the gap a little, did some good work last week.
Yeah, did some good work last week. Both Sammy and Diego were on, we'll call them vacations. Edwin Gonzalez, always a solid ride. And there's our buddy Lionel Reyes. You're looking for a good upset jock. There's your man, Lionel Reyes. So that's the top 5. Safi still up by 10. Victor closing the gap a little bit.
Yeah, and Jose D'Angelo, it's kind of fun for second there. Victor, Jose, and Carlos, and Joe Orsino. Not the numbers of those guys to have 17 wins. Good job with him and the team.
We mentioned the summer sweep pick 5 kicking off today in race number 6 right here. Yeah, that's the first race here at 2:56 p.m.
So you can see 3 in a row at Gulfstream. I like that too. I like the continuity there. 3 in a row here and then back-to-back at Woodbine. But obviously they're separated a little bit in that window, Ronnie. I'm not going to throw it at you, but an hour and 21 minutes. We like that too.
Hour and 21 minutes. And of course we sort of glanced, you get the point thing.
Points, 10 times first reward points for every buck you bet on it. So that's a great bet. $1. It's the coast to coast essentially. $1 minimum, 15% takeout, retail only.
Yeah, you have to join up and sign up for this thing because there's so many giveaways throughout the year, not even the summer going on to the winter, and you can get all those extra points. Of course, we sort of glossed over, but starting in race number 2 is the place pick 8, and there you see $1 minimum, 15% takeout, 100% carry. We've had a carry over 2 days.
We've had one carryover.
carryover.
Yeah, I'm threatening Ron to hit that dang thing, but I have
Yeah,
not
I got knocked
done
out
it
in the
yet.
first leg 3 different times.
No,
so
you can't hit it if you
Yeah.
get knocked out in the first leg.
I know. But I'm not giving up.
Okay, well, I would
You see me
expect
bet it
would.
here every
I
day.
do. So you try to bet it every day. Put
Well,
it that way.
put it that
Yeah,
way.
late pick 3's a great one as well, and then the late double too. They're
Yeah,
both
$5.
Yep.
That one I've been playing regularly. You
Oh,
know,
that's right,
also
the
you
Monday.
get split points there too.
That's for Monday. That's the big one there on
Yeah.
Monday. $1,000,000 rewards points if you hit it. You'll chop that up with anybody else that hit it.
Yeah, of course, mandatory
Yep.
payout. It's been a big success on Mondays. So seeing it, there's the late daily double, and there you go. So late daily double, $5. Boy, you hit this, you get paid nicely.
I love it. I think,
Yeah.
I love it, and they've been so well received on Mondays, even Saturday and Sunday too. But Mondays have been great,
Right.
and I think it's going to be a great springboard when we run back around to the championship meet. How much bigger they're going to be, and the Monday rainbows, Ronnie. We can't say it enough to thank everybody out there because. The first one was over $1 million. That was a little bit of the elephant in the room because
Right.
the carryover was a lot higher.
Right.
But on these days where we've got 2 days building, it's still been well over $400,000, and
Yeah, you
that's pretty
expect
cool.
the same. You expect the same,
Yep.
and we'll see how that plays out Monday with that 8-race card. So we're going to turn it over now to Pete Aiello, give you all the scratches, changes, and
Best bet.
That it? Oh,
I got
best
bail us-
bets,
yeah.
best bets.
Bail
that's
us
right.
out for me.
Bail us out. Mine is where I go with in here, Viking. You know, I'm trying to single out one of my Rainbow Six. Looks like a tour de force for David Fawkes.
Yep.
And your long shot today.
I'm in the last. Janana Han on the turf in the finale.
And ditto for me in race number 9 with the speed. I'm hoping Basilica Light at 8-1. So that is now. We'll turn it over to Pete Aiello with all the scratches and changes, and then Brian and I will be back.